Teradyne is one of those uniquely positioned companies that offer investors both stability and massive growth potential. The company is primarily a semiconductor equipment test company, but has over the past few years been growing into a major player in the robotics business as well. Let's start with the semiconductor business. The semiconductor industry is arguably the most important driver of technological innovation, and for good reason. It supplies the critical microchips that contain ever-increasing numbers of transistors. That technology makes it possible to do just about anything today using our handheld devices. Last year, more than 1 trillion semiconductors were shipped worldwide. The semiconductor industry was worth an incredible $464 billion last year. That's growth of about 11% over 2019. By the end of this year, it's forecasted to grow by another 12.5% to $522 billion. This staggering success wouldn't be possible without semiconductor test equipment. That testing is what ensures that each transistor in every printed circuit board works accurately. And Teradyne is at the center of this process. The company, founded in 1960, practically pioneered the automated test equipment industry. With its headquarters in Massachusetts, Teradyne operates major facilities around the world in testing, design, and manufacture. And some of the biggest names in semiconductors use Teradyne's products today. That includes giants like TSMC, Samsung, Qualcomm, Intel, Texas Instruments, IBM, and Apple, just to name a few. And Teradyne is among the few companies that have the technology and experience to make this highly specialized equipment. So, its profit margins are impressive. Going forward, Teradyne is well positioned to benefit from the explosive growth in semiconductor demand with its semiconductor test equipment. With the accelerating rollout of 5G globally, demand for its solutions should grow exponentially. Intel has said it plans to invest $95 billion in new chip-making facilities in Europe, plus another $20 billion in 2 new fabs, the factories that make semiconductors. Over the next 3 years, TSMC, the world's largest contract chip maker, plans to spend a record $100 billion, while Samsung will spend $205 billion. That's more than $400 billion in new investments from just 3 semiconductor companies. Tens of billions more will be spent by other players to make sure they are keeping abreast. By the end of 2021, 19 new fabs will begin construction, and next year, another 10 new fabs will break ground. That's more than the number of fabs that opened for business in the past 5 years, and they will all need the finely tuned test equipment that Teradyne supplies. Robots. But this isn't the only thing I'm excited about when it comes to Teradyne. It has another major sector that I am interested in: industrial robots. A few years back, Teradyne decided that it needed to grow faster, and after looking at several possibilities, it decided to enter the robotics business, which is conservatively forecast to grow at a 20 to 35% annual rate. The market for industrial robots, in particular, is expected to reach $52.8 billion by 2026, more than double the $24.3 billion from last year. That's because robots are beginning to take over factory and warehouse floors at incredible rates. They're already being used in agriculture, car manufacturing, food processing, healthcare, and the military. Complex robotic systems are used in aerospace, defense, and the medical industry. That's the kind of growth I like to see in a new business. If it just continues growing alongside the overall robotics industry, Teradyne's industrial automation division will be a $600 million a year business by 2026. That's a great kicker to add to the company's already booming automated test equipment business. How Teradyne can triple your investment in 5 years or less. Teradyne's revenue grew by an average of 14% a year for the past 5 years. Teradyne was even able to grow its sales in 2020 notwithstanding the lockdowns in the US and around the world. And that growth is accelerating now that the global economy is getting back on its feet. The company recorded a 29% increase in revenue in the second quarter of 2021, hitting nearly $1.1 billion. It even grew profit margins. Teradyne's operating margin reached an impressive 35.8% in the second quarter, up nearly 10 percentage points from the same quarter last year. In fact, when you look at the hundreds of billions of dollars chip makers will spend to boost their capacity over the next 3 years, it's difficult not to be excited. Teradyne is entering a golden age of growth that could see its revenues and shares triple in value by 2025. But even if this company does only half as well as I expect it to, you'll double your investment. That's a conservative estimate, given the spectacular outlook for semiconductors in the coming decade. Thanks for watching our video.